What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and in this video we are going to be looking at the busted new character Burning Tree. But before we do that, we are going to be talking a little bit about this Fates opener. I've been playing a lot of Fates games recently because it is a really cool new hero, and this game plays out a little bit differently than some of my other Fates games. Basically, in this first opening shop, I don't really see anything that I want to upgrade that badly. It's going to be a Kitty Cup Purse, a Mad Mim, and a Tiny, as well as a Witch's Brew. And none of these are particularly exciting to just spend a whole bunch of turns purchasing. Maybe like we could just purchase 2 Tinies over the course of 2 turns, but I'm not super excited about that, so I wind up rolling. And I roll into Forbidden Fruit plus Fanny, which is pretty good because it means I can use this Forbidden Fruit to purchase the Fanny, and Fanny kind of works well with itself because it can support itself, so that's pretty great. But one of the other reasons that I did this is because we are going to be playing up against Share Bear this turn, so even if I didn't find the Forbidden Fruit, I would be able to purchase 2 units on this second turn, and I'd kind of be able to get back into the game a little bit that way. So I pick up the Fanny, and then I am going to pick up this Kitty Cup Purse, and can hopefully potentially get a little bit more gold getting back into it with that. Interestingly, we are playing up against a skip now, so we're going to have 3 units to their 1, so we should be in a pretty good position. It is weird that this skip is at 35 HP, so they cast a Forbidden Fruit as well, I suppose. But that's not going to make any difference to us, I guess. But yeah, weird that they are at 35 to start things off. But we are now destined to upgrade Fanny, which I think is much better than any other of those units that we could have been destined to upgrade here. I don't think I want to upgrade it just yet. I mean, we could potentially grab like a lock chest or something, but I also think that just Minotaur plus Black Cat is a really good pickup for this turn in terms of just getting more powerful. And then we'll be able to pick up this Fanny in a future shop. Don't have to worry about it necessarily right this second. Up against a 40 health Gwen, I do want to try to be as strong as I can because a Gwen on 40 health often means that they did use their knighthood, and we see that they probably knighthooded a Polywoggle to get this upgraded doubly. Now, they don't have too strong of a board, but they do still wind up winning, but the fact that we played such a strong board does mean that we're only going to take 3 damage. We didn't take an additional 3 from that upgraded doubly. Interesting to note, this is one of the first Fates games that I played. I think I've posted one other Fates game on this channel, so I didn't realize that if you rolled, your Fanny would go away. So I was hoping I would roll into maybe another 2-cost dwarf, or maybe Princess White or something that I could purchase before picking up the Fanny, but we just don't see any dwarves in this shop either, so that is a little bit unfortunate. And I do really want this Queen of Hearts, I think, this turn, so what I'm going to do is cycle through the baby route because maybe I will lock on to the baby dragon, and then I'll pick up the Mad Mim. I don't know if I wind up locking onto the baby dragon. I think I just decide not to anyways, and hopefully Queen of Hearts is just strong enough for this turn. Could have had an even stronger turn if I just purchased the Queen of Hearts and the Minotaur, but at the very least, we learned something. We learned something new. So that's got some nice value as well. And we are going to get a little bit lucky with that hit. And then Queen of Hearts is going to be able to clean this one up. So not too bad, all things considered. And then here I will pick up Fanny. And interestingly, there's some good treasures that you can get while playing an evil comp on tier 2. There's Dancing Sword and there's Dark Contract. And I was kind of looking for either one of these. The fact that we found both of them, I'm not really sure which one's better. Dark Contract obviously is really good. Like, it would give this mummy +5/+5 right now. Or we can just take the Dancing Sword and then all of our units have +1/+1 forever. I feel like that's probably better value. Overall, like you look right now, we're getting 6/6 out of stats from the Dancing Sword, actually 7/7 when you count the Black Cat, and the Dark Contract, even on this turn, would have only given us +10/+10. So it's probably likely that the Dancing Sword is going to give us more stats over time. Interestingly, I mean, we did take the Dancing Sword. We do have this upgraded Fanny that is a 7/7, but other than that, we're not really going to make too much use of this Fanny or really even our hero power throughout this game. This is going to be a game where I don't really think I play too many upgraded units either until we get more towards the end of the game maybe. But that really is somewhat interesting when you can play these games where you don't really make too much use out of your hero power, but sometimes that's pretty cool too, to just kind of see what you can do. Okay, we got some value from the hero power, but we're not tied to it necessarily. And like, we don't have to pick up this lucky just because we are fated to Fanny. And that's certainly an interesting thing on the Fates specifically, because you do kind of have this hero power that pushes you in a direction at the start of the game because you're fated to a unit, and then you can kind of just not even play that unit pretty quickly after that. Just get a treasure from it, get out, and you're fine. It is maybe worth playing the Fanny over the Goat that we have in slot 4, but honestly, I'm not super sure which one is going to be better. When I see this Princess White, I am a little bit tempted to try to go into Dwarves or something just because we have this Fanny, but I don't think Princess White is good on this current patch at all, and I definitely don't think that it is good on 3.2. Maybe if you can find it on 3.0 or something, but even then, I think that Princess White, just like early game Dwarves in general, I don't think are super powerful. There's a chance we could go back into Dwarves in the late game, so maybe I'll hang on to this Fanny for a little bit, but don't think that Princess White, like, I don't want to spend my gold on level 4 purchasing more Dwarves. I do decide to play the Fanny over the Goat though, and honestly, we are looking pretty strong for this stage of the game. My opponent was looking pretty good for a second, but with our double supported Black Cat, we are able to take them out. And the upgraded Fanny actually hits them for a little bit more damage too, so that part's nice. Now we're on level 4. Kind of interested in something like Monster Book. That's a pretty nice evil unit. One kind of direction that I do like with the Fates is potentially playing a Pumpkin comp, because then the Fates gets to give everything inside of an upgraded Pumpkin +3/+3 as well. So that's definitely a potential angle. I roll and then wind up seeing Masquerade Ball. Well, first I see this Sheep in Wolf's Clothing, and then I realize that this is a Masquerade Ball shop with 3 different 5-cost units, so I'm definitely going to want to cast that Masquerade Ball. And told you this was a Burning Tree video. We do see the Burning Tree here, but I also really like Feasting Dragon when it is ahead of the curve like this. So I think we're going to be locking this shop regardless, and maybe we do something like pick up Feasting Dragon right now, which would be able to slay, and it could pump up the Lancelot and the Burning Tree, and then we'll pick up those other units on our next turn. And for right now, we'll just pick up Feasting Dragon, and that's it, and hopefully try to get a slay with that. So that is the plan here. I do think that Feasting Dragon and Lance and Burning Tree are all honestly really good when they're a little bit under the curve like this. But next turn we'll be able to take this Burning Tree and put it into slot 2, and it will just be absolutely massive, getting +6/+2 from support. So it's getting +6/+8, and that's going to mean a really nice unit for us. Another opponent takes out our Queen of Hearts, but again, we are quite strong just with this double Black Cat support and all of the other stuff that we got going on here. So we're going to hit this Horde Dragon for 7, and now we will pick up this Burning Tree and then probably pick up the Lancelot too, though the Wolf in Sheep's Clothing also kind of tempting. And I think it is when I'm about to pick up this Lancelot that I realize there's another Masquerade Ball in the shop. A little bit unfortunate. Wish that I would have just cast that first and picked up 2 level 6 units, but it totally works out for us. I'm able to pick up an Ashwood Elm to go alongside Burning Tree, and obviously this is an insane combination of units, but it's an even more insane combination of units to have on 4.1. So Yes, Burning Tree is busted. It's busted with Ashwood Elm, but this start is also a little bit busted as well and going to be quite strong. I'm even just going to backline the Fanny from this point because we just want to hit our opponents for more damage, and Fanny is going to be the best way to do this. So you can see the Ashwood Elm gives, 26 attack and health to the Burning Tree. So plus 26, plus 26, that is just unbeatable stats at this stage of the game, and going to mean that we're hitting our opponents for some nice chunk of damage. There we go with the Fanny in the back line as well. Could take Lightning Dragon. That could be a nice thing to grab. But what I really want at this stage of the game is XP. That would be the best purchase for the coin that we spend into it. Chupacabra is kind of cute with Burning Tree. I'd potentially like to pick up the Heartwood Elder. That would be really good, and I'm certainly thinking, okay, some other trees could be good too. They're going to get pumped up by Ashwood, but I really want to find Heartwood Elder and start scaling this board. I think that is one of the better things that we can do at this point. We could True Love's Kiss the Feasting Dragon. That is not the craziest play in the world. I wind up kind of regretting it. Bear Stain isn't really going to be good for us, and it probably wasn't worth the gold that we just spent. And it kind of wasted our spell for the turn as well. But the Darkwood Creeper, I do think this one's pretty good. So I'm going to grab Darkwood Creeper. Basically, Darkwood Creeper with Burning Tree. Every time that it gets hit, it gets +1 attack, so then it's also getting +1 health as well. And that is just really strong. So that is the plan, to grab the Darkwood Creeper for a little bit more scaling on the Burning Tree. I think that is a really good just combo of units, and sure, I'll just play this Bear Stain for now. We'll figure out something else that we can throw in. It's a 7/10. So for now, I will just be playing the 7/10 and mostly just hoping that the Burning Tree will be able to get us by. And it does look like it will be pretty strong for us. My opponent does have a 19 attack ranged unit, so that is going to be strong as well. And then we will be finishing them off with our Creeper in the back. And actually, the fact that this combat went a little bit longer than it should have or could have was actually fine, because it meant that the Burning Tree got some additional stats on it, so that is pretty sweet. Now we are actually 5.0, so I do want to start looking for some more Burning Trees, but I'm definitely going to pick up this Falling Stars. That's really sweet with Creeper, and there is our first Heartwood Elder as well, so that we can start to scale this comp up. And then we do find another Burning Tree. So I'll sell 2 units for that. Doesn't really matter which 2, but these are the 2 that we go with, and these are nice supports for us as well. I want to, I think, put any passive stats on Ashwood Elm, because any stats that the Ashwood Elm gets are also going to eventually wind up on the Burning Trees as well. So I think this is the best way to organize and support the board. The one thing, I'm just checking the size of my 2 Burning Trees here. The one thing that's a little bit risky potentially is the fact that we've got this Creeper in the front line. Maybe I do just want to backline the Creeper. I could certainly see that being the case. Oh, and that is actually what I decide to go for. Okay, so there you go. That just means that the Creeper is going to help scale our Burning Trees that much easier and be strong for us. It's a weird game because obviously we got Burning Tree plus Ashwood Elm so early on that the rest of this game just might not even matter, but that is, we'll see how far we can get with just this strategy. My opponent with Pandora's Box on 5.1, but unfortunately for them, they're also dead. So we're not going to be able to see what they got inside that Pandora's Box, and they did not have too much else going on, unfortunately. So they faced us on a pretty bad turn, but we'll be able to pick up another Darkwood Creeper. Don't mind playing multiple copies of that. We'll definitely cast any Falling Stars that we can find, and then any XP as well. And then also looking for yeah, really just any additional copies of the other units that we have. So that is kind of the plan for now, and doesn't look like we're going to find too much of anything this turn. So yeah, we're done. Okay, let's skip ahead for a second. But now the creepers, whenever Burning Tree takes damage and survive, and it's a really good combo, Burning Tree plus the creeper, because each time it takes damage, it's gaining more health, and that just makes it even more likely to survive damage in future combats. And you can see they just get up to be really, really big. 65 and 54 at this stage of the game. Pretty nice. This Celestial Tiger is going to have a Holy Grail that they've got active next turn, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to kill off this Celestial Tiger, but we are going to at least hit them for 7 damage down to 20. Not that big of a deal. They're going to have a Holy Grail on 6.0 for themselves. So that Tiger is definitely going to be one of our opponents to watch this game. But let's see if we just can't make our board better for ourselves. First things first. And I will be able to pick up another Heartwood Elder here. That's pretty sweet. Would love to still find another one, maybe get some additional treasures and some use out of our Fates hero power. Get to give some units +3/+3, but doesn't look like we're going to make anything else happen on this turn, but hopefully we'll be able to find some more trees in the future. And then I think I will move the Ashwood Elm into slot 2 so that that is getting double supported by the Heartwood Elders and providing a little bit more just in terms of passive stats. No, okay, so I don't move it over. Maybe just wasn't paying attention or didn't think it was necessary to do so. Probably just not paying attention. But interestingly, my opponent has Falling Stars plus Forking Rod plus Mimic Chest to copy the Forking Rod. So they just cast 3 Falling Stars and gave all of our units +6/+6. Basically, or they gave all of our Burning Trees +2/+2 for each Falling Stars. So they wound up giving us a bunch of free stats that combat, and we repay them by letting them live, of course. We get our Spinning Gold, and then we are going to get a Darkwood Creeper as our treasure for the turn. Don't really think any of these treasures are super great for us, though, so I am just going to skip on this one and then Gigantify onto Heartwood Elder, because that is a bunch more stats for all of the Burning Trees. Could take another Creeper this turn, but I'm just going to keep on rolling, try to find more of these higher level trees, because that's going to get us more stats in the long run. Do think I could potentially take Hercules, though. That is pretty reasonable, but I do decide against it. I think I'm just looking at the fact that this game is almost over. Honestly, I don't know. I think I could have liked to see me play the Hercules here. I think that that would have been fine. You can see me eyeing up the Shard of the Ice Queen and even considering locking it. I guess I do lock it. I don't remember everything that happens at this stage of the game. I just remember the fact that I got that double Masquerade Ball in subsequent turns. And basically, I'm thinking that there are some good tier 6 units on the evil side of things that I wouldn't mind picking up and could add some nice power to our board. But basically, we're just all in on the Burning Trees here. Just absolutely massive in the 100s for relatively little work put into them, which I think is definitely an endorsement. So I'm curious to see what are some other things we can come up with Burning Tree in the future, but this wasn't a bad just like starter game. We get a Doom Breath here on the Shard of the Ice Queen for the turn, so not too shabby. Would like to potentially support that with like Gumblegore. We saw that roll past, or just try to get some stats onto it from a Falling Stars. That could be cool too. And then we see a Green Knight here as well, so maybe I want to go Green Knight instead of playing this Doom Breath. There's some interesting things to figure out for sure. Like I said, this was my first game even playing with Burning Tree, and one of my first games with the Fates even, so still was kind of figuring some stuff out on this new patch, but I did know that I wanted Robin Wood because that is going to be really good with the Ashwood Elm that we already have. It's just going to give us a large ranged unit, which could certainly help us get ahead. And now we're up against this Celestial Tiger, who we saw had the Holy Grail not too long ago, so they could be strong, though they did lose even after their Holy Grail turn. We only took them down to 20. So maybe it's this Potion Master, this 35 health Potion Master that I haven't seen in a little bit. Maybe that is the one to truly be afraid of. Hopefully they don't have anything too strong for us, but this Celestial Tiger is going to have perfect support treasures and a large Lancelot, but we just have really large units beyond that. So that is going to be, looks like, enough to take my opponent out. We don't know what's inside the pumpkin, but doesn't look like it is anything too tough for us to deal with. And then we are going to get in there with our creeper. But it does look like we won't have too tough of a time. It will be a little bit of a close one, but I do think that we wind up winning this one. Yeah, pretty close, though. Pretty close, all things considered. We just wind up winning by 1 unit, but 1 is enough. And now we're up against Potion Master, and we are in the finals. And it's time to find out how busted is Burning Tree, really. I'll roll for a little bit. Don't really need health. Potion Master actually just lost to the Ghost, so I'm feeling pretty decent. If we can just get a few more stats here, maybe we just bullied this lobby just by having such a quick Burning Tree. And then does look like we could pick up a Robin Hood here as well, so that seems fun. I don't want to sell my Fanny. We're destined for the Fanny, so I think I am just going to sell this Doom Breath to pick up this Robin Wood. And that seems fine. And then I'm going to slot in the Creeper because I do think the Creeper just helps in terms of getting good passive stats. I think that it's actually better than playing the Heartwood Elder because every time the Burning Trees survive, they'll get additional stats. That was me just talking about the Dancing Tree. It didn't really do too much for us. Fates in general didn't do too much for us this whole game, as I said, because we really just focused on those Masquerade Balls and not upgraded units. And then we're going to see the power of Burning Tree. Yeah, turns out this is one of those games where we are not actually the protagonist. My opponent is the Burning Tree protagonist. And yeah, they kick our butt here. They've got 2 Ashwood Elms plus an upgraded Ashwood Elm, 2 Burning Trees, and 2 Echo Woods. And that is actually the new crazy comp. And I mean, we just have to Pigomorph here. We have to get like really lucky. We'd have to put in a bunch of scam. Maybe I can find some other scam related units like some monster books or some other stuff. I do wind up completing a tier 4 treasure here. Don't want to sell the Fanny because that's what we are destined to. And we get Deck of Many Things. So this actually could really help us in terms of putting together some scams. I think in all actuality, the real play here is to concede, but we'll play it out. I don't really like conceding in general because I don't like when people concede against me because I want to see what crazy stuff I can put together even if we do have a 0% win rate. It's crazy that they somehow lost to the Time Skipper Ghost. I'm not sure how that happened, but they were at 35 and then went down to 28. So other than not being sure what happened there, I do think that my opponent, maybe they found all the Echo Woods in the last turn or they found the Ashwoods in the last turn or something. But honestly, kudos to them. So what's happening here is they've got these huge Ashwood Elms, and both of these Ashwood Elms are going to give their power in attack to every other tree. So this one is going to give 66 attack to every other tree. This one's going to give, double this. 132. This one's going to give 90. So it's a total of 222, right? Is that right? Maybe my math's slightly off, but 222 attack. That's going to go on both of these Ashwood Elms. However, it's doubled. So instead of getting 222, they're going to get 444, and then they are also going to get any attack bonuses to their health. So their health is also going to go up 444. And because both of these units are getting plus 444, plus 444, both of these Echo Woods are going to get plus 888 in all of that. So we can watch that happen here. Yeah, just absolute craziness. We can see these are up to the 400s. These are up to the thousands at this point in the attack, and then about 800 health, like I was saying. But this is now the new trees comp, and it's pretty busted, and I didn't realize quite to the extent that it was busted before this game. And yeah, it's over for us. But this is a really cool combination, and I still wanted to showcase this game because this is a really cool comp to look out for in the future. I feel like maybe here we could get Wand of Weirding, and then we could potentially find some more scam spells. It seems like a long shot, though. We'd really have to find some Pigomorphs right now and try to scam my opponent's board with the Pigomorphs and the Wands of Weirdings and the deck of many things, but not going to get there this turn. Honestly, like I said, I don't like conceding because I like my opponent to be able to put together a sweep board, but I do consider just like not playing anything, maybe just playing the Fanny or something, and we'll watch my opponent's sweet combat one more time. Maybe Cupid could actually scam, though, so I'm like, okay, maybe we can just try to play the best board and just put Cupid in and see what we can do with that. So that's what I'm going to go for here. We'll just go for this Cupid play, and maybe I can make my opponent's Echo Woods attack into each other or something like that, but it all seems pretty unlikely. So I do think that this is going to be a win for my opponent, but maybe this gives us like a 0.00001% chance to get the win. My opponent actually upgrades their Echo Wood, so gets an absolutely massive Echo Wood there up in the 2000s. And they've got a Phoenix Feather, so they have put a lot together in these final turns. Pretty fantastic work there by Master Blaster. But that is going to be it for me for this one. And hopefully this game, despite not being the protagonist here, still helped to showcase how busted the new Burning Tree is. So thank you guys very much for watching. That's going to be it for me for this one. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.